Hey DIY family, today we'll show you how we created our version of a French drain. So we had some water issues where water would settle over here. So this is the finished product where you see the gravel is. What would happen, water would settle there when rain fall, and we decided to come up with a solution to get rid of the water. So we did two things. We created our version of a French drain to channel the water back to our main sewer, and we also softened up the earth so the water would soak down. So watch the video and you'll see how we did it. And we haven't been able to officially test it as yet. Last time we got some rain, but not to the extent as wish we got when the storm was coming. So stay tuned. So we had a little drainage issue with our side yard, and what would happen is whenever rain falls, the water kind of settle right here. So what we plan to do is to put in a drain in the ground to take the water and channel it back into our sewer. So the idea is I would use a 2-inch pipe, which is this, and then we would have different bends that would take the water from the top and put it in the pipe, and what we would do is channel the water downwards. So we're going to join it back into our current bathroom pipe, which is 1.5 inches. This is 2 inches, so we're going to do a reduction. When we started to dig, we actually found a drain pipe that was here before, which is this. So I think this is a 3-inch or a 4-inch. Looks like a 4-inch. So the plan now is that we'll have 2 drains. So we're going to use this pipe. We tested it already, so we'll run water through it, and we'll see that it passes through our existing sewer system and goes out to the road. Well, hopefully, because when we ran the water we didn't see it come back. So we're going to put some holes in it. So we're going to put some holes in it so that water from the top can get down into it and then run out. We're going to cover it with some gravel. We already have the gravel. What we're doing now is just to ensure that we have everything fit up. It has a fall, so the fall is an angle so that the water can run. And what we have to ensure is that the pipe is not in the center. So the bubble, to ensure that it has a little fall. So I'm going to set it so it has a fall. So it should be somewhere like this, so that the water won't settle and run. Also, what's important is that these tees that we're using, once the water goes into it, you can see that it has a bend. That means that the water will go that way, that direction. And I think we have about 4 of them that we're putting in. So one here, one up top. We're going to put one also here, down there. So we're going to have multiple places where we have the tee. For example, I've seen all the pipes before. This is just a dry fit. And at the tee. So the water from up top, and we may angle it like this, or keep it up straight. You can make that decision. We have this one, which is a 45 degree, which we're going to run back to a drain pipe that runs somewhere along here. So I already identified it. So this one comes from the bathroom upstairs. It's 1.5 inches, and I know that it runs in this direction. tied it back into the drain to identify the pipe. So what's going to happen is wherever this intersects, somewhere around here, we're going to dig a hole and then connect it back to this. And we already have the fittings, so this is the 1.5 T. We're going to insert down here and then run back a pipe to connect to that. And hopefully when rain falls, we don't get flooded out. Quick update on our project, which is a French drain. So as you can see, it has been tied back into one of our existing drain pipes. This drain pipe actually comes from our roof. So we have two here. So first I digged to actually find this one, where this one comes from our upstairs bathroom. However, when I was digging, I saw that we had an next drain, and this, as I said, comes from the roof. So what I did is I tied our French drain, which is along the side of the house, and I'm going to show you all of that shortly, but I just wanted to show you how we tied it into our existing drain pipe. And what I did is I cutted out this section here to insert my T, and as you can see, the T has a bend, so when the water flows from that side, it's gonna automatically turn and go into our sewer system, which I can also show you. So I had to cut out two sections so I could easily work inside of here. So I cut it out here also, and I inserted a coupling, and then I inserted the T, and I joined my T. So this is an 1.5 pipe. The pipe that I use for the front drain is 2 inch, so I had to do a reducer right here. You can see it, reducer back into the 1.5. So this pipe goes into our sewer, which is over here, and then that goes to the main. So just follow me now so you can see the rest of the French drain. And I'm going to explain exactly what we did, and trust me, it was a lot of digging. Alright, so as I said before, the problem we're trying to solve is that water would settle over this side of the house whenever rain falls. So the idea, we did some research, we saw a French drain design where the French drain, it sits below the surface of the earth, and I'm going to cover this with stone aggregate so the water will be able to seep down into the drain, and it should flow away better. So one of the problem also was that we had a lot of solid concrete over this side of the yard space, and while we're digging it up, we chose to broke out some of the concrete, so that also contributed to why water was settling along this side of the yard. So I'll start from here, and you can see I've covered all of the bends with mesh, some pretty strong mesh, metal mesh, so that no stools or debris will get into it. And again, the idea is that if the water starts to settle up here, then it should go into the drain and flow out. So one of the important things is that you need to start the drain high enough with a fall. And if you look on the bubble, you see that the bubble is not centered, so that means it has a pretty good fall. So the bubble is over this side to the right. So to get it centered, I would have to lift it up. And with what this means is that the water is going to flow and continue downwards that side. So we made the decision to have a few of these bends and T's inserted, so it will collect the water. If the water does decide to raise up, you can see we have another one there. We also found this big main drain, and this was a 4-inch pipe that we had to adjust. We did some testing as we stated before. So what we did is we put a 90-degree bend and also had the mesh installed over it. So again, if the water raises to a certain level, then this would soak up the water and it should channel downwards. This pipe I'm gonna dig out some more. So as you see, it's not Tangit as yet. This is just a test. So the idea here again, I can take it out, show you. So it's out. So I'm gonna dig this down so it sits flush into the ground, and then this will be for our phase 2, where we will channel this into a tank right here, and then the overflow will go into the drain. So here we have another one. This one is pointing straight up, then we point one towards the house, one towards the yard, another one straight up. Down here is pretty deep, so another one straight up. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually cover this with the stone, all of this space with the stone. So I'm going to dig away maybe up to about here, take out this dirt and just pack all of this with stone. And as I said, I have the aggregate at the side, so once I start pouring in that, then I'll also use it to get my fall pretty good. So it starts high, as you can see, so I'm just going to raise up along here a little bit for it to come over here, and then this is one straight run down in. I think this, so I have to increase this fall just a little bit. And this is good because I have a lot of play right here, and that is our idea of a French drain. So other persons do the French drain a bit differently, where they literally bore holes into the pipe. So they may use a bigger pipe and then they bore smaller holes into the pipe. So some bore it at the bottom, some bore it at the top, and the idea, similar to what we have here, is so that it will collect the water, push it into the pipe, and then channel it outwards. So we did a little different idea, and we will definitely check to see if it works. So we didn't want to bore the pipe for it because that's always an option afterwards, but we think that this should work, since it will also catch the water, and what this allows is that the water should not be able to seep out underneath the pipe, because if we bore the bottom of the pipe, then the water would not follow the channel, it would be seeping outwards. So my next step is gonna dig out some more of the gravel right here, and then I'm gonna start filling it with a stone aggregate and covering up the space so we can have back our side yard looking good. Stay tuned for the final look.